Hi, this is Gary Cato with Project SOS, and I'm very proud to sponsor this episode of Salute. We hope you enjoy it.
Can't wait to get on the road again. Life I love making friends with my pets. I can't wait to get on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Hello and welcome to Central Florida Salute YouTube. I'm your host Bob Peters and we are on the road again. And today we are over here in Marion County at the Veterans Memorial Park in Ocala, and I have a guest that's been on our show before, Jason White. Jason is with the Birdwell Foundation, Warrior Wheels, and a lot of other things. Good to see you again, brother. Now, you bragged about this place to me, and you said, Bob, you got to come down and see it. So you want to tell me a little bit about it and what it means to you, and introduce me to your friend.
Absolutely. So this is the Ocala Marion County Veterans Memorial Park. For so many people here in Marion County, it is a place of solace. It is a place for camaraderie. For me, I always told everybody it's like my church. I'm surrounded by names of fellow veterans that are just spread out all throughout the bricks and the benches and the monuments in this park. And if you ever, for me, when I came out of the military, I needed a place to, kind of be filled with camaraderie in my people. And at the same time, a lot of us, back then when you come out, you kind of isolate a little bit. But this was a way for me to kind of bridge that gap and fight that isolation by being in a place that maybe there's not a lot of people here during certain times I come, but there's a lot of people here every time I come.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by those names. So it became something really personal to me. And every morning at 11 o'clock, they play taps. And they have so many beautiful ceremonies here and just opportunities to honor our fallen and our warriors. It just became a home to me. I was very comfortable here, and I ended up meeting Ron. Ron is a part of the Friends of the Marion County Veterans Park. It's a new organization that had been established.
Ron's got a last name, right?
Ron, how do you say it? Oplinger. He is also a fellow Jarhead.
I knew it was going to be a difficult name. That's why I got you here.
Thanks. He's a fellow Jarhead, and he's one of those people that really just, like for me and a lot of other younger vets, just made him feel at home. This is your home. This is a place you can come and relax. So, this is a beautiful park, and I like being here, and I like to show the community and the world that this is a place they can come and find a camaraderie and find healing and honor, their fellow warriors.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go inside in a little bit, but first I want to know a little bit more about Ron. Ron, you are a United States Marine, Vietnam veteran.
Yes, Vietnam. I was in 65 and 66, I was over in Vietnam.
Well, are you a native Floridian?
No, I came from Midwest, Nebraska, but I got transferred down here with the company I worked for. The best thing that ever happened to me, got out of cold country.
Okay, so you did 2 years with the Marines, 4 years?
4 and 2, 6-year tour.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you guys for being here.
And I understand you're the guy that's going to be our guide here.
Well, I started here in 2009. When I retired and sold my business, I took 3 months off and said, I'm just going to do what I want to do. Well, in 6 weeks, I was bored. So consequently, I ended up here. I come down to the Veterans Service Office because when we came back from Nam, we just kind of went into society because of the way we were treated back in the 60s and 70s when Vietnam was coming to an end. So what we did is just, like I said, went into civilian life. But when I retired, I thought, well, I wonder if I have any benefits and what's the benefits of the Veterans Service Office. So this building used to be the Veterans Service Office. And they came in here and they said, well, what are you going to do since you retired? I said, I have no idea. And they said, well, you want to volunteer at the park? I said, what park? The park was built in 1997. I didn't even know it was here. I drove by it 100 times. And that's the problem with this park. And that's why we're doing what we're doing today with the foundation.
And that's why we're here, to promote your park. But you're going to give us a tour inside. Yeah. So let's get out of this hot sun and go inside, okay?
I love it, the heat.
Yeah, you love the heat. Okay. Okay, we're inside the building now. This is the Education Center. Is that what it is?
Yep, so we couldn't call it a museum, so we call it an exhibit and education center. And that's why, yeah. And what the thing that's probably the greatest thing about this is there's 17 volunteers that are involved in this whole park. Up above, we call it the park. Down here, we call it the education center. And probably the nicest thing is everything in this place was put together by free donations, either by material, money, or we personally went out and did what we called a campaign to draw money, going to Walmart, Publix, just set up our tables saying, hey, here's the park. Here's what we want to do, and here's what the people give us back.
And this is a not-for-profit, right?
It's a 501c3, Friends of Marion County Veterans Park Foundation.
Okay, and it started in what year?
We started in March of 2020.
And I understand you said you're going to do some remodeling or building up?
Yeah, what we did is the park actually pretty much ends in 75. The gentleman that put it together, Tom Needham, had a great vision. He did a great job back in 1997 building the park. But as anything, we need to have that torch passed on. So what we're doing now, after 2018, we decided after the Vietnam Wall that we needed to do something, and that's when we started to get forward as far as pushing the buttons to make this thing come together. And the county and the city are behind us on it because it's obviously tax-free.
It's beautiful. I'll tell you what, from what I've seen so far, it's beautiful. And we're going to go walk around a little bit, and you're going to tell me a little bit about what's in here.
To give you an idea before we start, it's a lot of rooms here, and it really worked out good. It was thought it wouldn't, but we broke it down in World War I, Korea, Vietnam, 9/11, and also an Ocala room.
I guess we should start at World War I.
That would be a good place.
Let's go. All right, this is the World War I room. I recognize the helmets and the hats and everything, and that's quite a picture over there with the German plane. You want to tell me a little bit about where you got this stuff?
Well, it's an amazing story about how this all got started. On 2018, as I told you, we had the Vietnam Wall come in. The volunteers got it. When that happened, we were bringing the education of the kids into the park for the veterans program. And this young man would come up to me and said, I got a letter I'd like to show you, and I'll show you a little bit later, that from World War I. I said, great. So Adam Signs is his name. He's the one that basically put this whole thing together. His uncle's in World War I, and he loved it. He's a patriot from the beginning of time. But the big thing is everything in this room is his. He basically, not his, I'm sorry, but he either went on eBay or found it somehow
and donated it.
And made it here, yes.
Yeah.
This, for example, this picture here, we can tell you later, that's actually cloth off of that.
That's actually what?
That's actually the cloth off of the wings.
Oh, really? Wow.
And you read a little bio on it. And if you look at each one of the pictures, we put bios with it, so you can explain a little bit what's going on.
That's interesting. I've never seen that kind of material before, or anything like that. That's neat.
He's amazing what he can find.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Else. So, and we've got to come over here. So I'm out of the way, and tell us a little about the display case you have here.
A lot of this here is, like I said, Adam has picked it up over the years, and some of it's his, and we got it documented whose is whose. A lot of it he's found on eBay, but a lot of it, as time went on, people found out we were doing this, have started to donate material to us, and memorabilia. So there's a lot of history behind some of this. I could sit here and talk forever on it, but we got a lot of other rooms we need to go.
We got a uniform over here.
Yeah, this gentleman, actually, that was his uniform in World War I, George. It's kind of interesting if you read the bio on it. And that's what we're doing with everything in here, is putting a bio with it. Not a lot of words, but a short little 50 words, whatever, to make sure people understand not just a picture or not a uniform, but there's a connection to it.
You know, I'm really impressed with this place. But I got to ask you this. What are your hours? Because people are going to see this on YouTube, and a lot of people, hopefully local people, want to come and visit the education center. But what are your hours? Our
hours are from 9 to 1, 5 days a week. If you have a special group that want to come in, just call us ahead of time, and we will definitely set up like a Saturday interview, or at the same night interview, but a tour. The park on events is always open. And we have like 17 events a year, but it's 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Okay, do you have a Facebook page or something like that?
We're in the process of picking actually a web page and a Facebook. We got a gentleman that's doing that for us right now.
Okay, so it's coming.
It's coming.
Okay, so I see we have one of the nurses.
Yeah, they actually got the uniform. Somebody found that as well, actually material and everything from the World War I uniform, and the lady donated it. She had it where she got it as a nurse, and they actually put that together with a mannequin. We also use monitors in here in each room, and we play during the day different things that are happening.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah. But a lot of this stuff, I imagine, is like a lot of the other museums. I visit a lot of museums. I love museums. And it's all donated, but the people still maintain the rights, so, you know.
We got
right?
two forms. Either they donate it or they just loan it.
Yeah, it's on
And
loan.
when we learned that, we went to World War II Museum and talked to their curators, and they told us how to do this, because the worst thing you want to do is get a piece of item that's very important to the person that donated it, and they don't really want it now, but maybe 5, 6 years later, or maybe one of the kids said, I want that. And that's what the World War II Museum told us. Be careful, because it can cause a lot of issues.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's go to another room. We're going. I guess we're going to 2 now.
We'll actually go to the Ocala Room next.
Let's go to the Ocala Room. Okay, where are we now?
We're in what they call the Ocala Hall. This is basically Ocala was involved very heavy in World War II through training of the Greenville Aviation, and they also had a lot of other events going on here during the World War II.
So this is a local captain.
Yeah, this gentleman here, he was in World War II, I'm sorry, and that's the picture down here of Life. That's him and his wife when
Life
he was
magazine.
getting married. This Ocala Victory is actually a ship that was named Ocala Victory that was involved in World War I, hauling supplies back and forth with the Victory ships. There's some pictures above with what it is. And this is a little corner of just him as far as being involved. She christened the Ocala Victory ship when they first let us.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. A lot
And
of
there's some
history
more
here,
bios in here of different people.
Yeah.
And the one that's really, I think, is awesome is this one over here. This is actually the aviation school that they had here in Ocala.
Yeah, they had one in Leesburg, too.
Right. And we have a gentleman here that, Terry Crawford, that actually has a P-51 that he's restored, and he uses it, still flies it to this day, that was sent here to the aviation school.
And
with a
it's
serial number.
fliable?
It's flyable. He's
Does he know?
completely restored it.
Does he know a guy who's with Central Florida Salute YouTube that he might want to give a ride to?
He just might.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely excited about it.
That would be a great show, you know. I've
It
been on
is.
2 B-17s, a B-29, and a Stearman.
Well,
Of course,
he would be proud to tell you.
when I was in the Air Force, I flew in some other stuff, but I wasn't a pilot. But yeah, I love it.
And this picture here basically explains then and now. But what it was is where our Target store sits now on 200. That's where the aviation school was.
Wow.
And there's a picture of it up here also.
You know, we are a not-for-profit, Central Florida Salute YouTube. We are under the Florida Arts and Media. That is our 501c, and the gentleman who owns that, his name is Bill Suki, an Emmy Award-winning producer and director of the Lady Wasp movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we have some history too.
Oh yes, you do.
Now we're going in the World War II room, right?
Yes.
So let's check it out and see what we got in here. Oh, the old flight jackets, I like that.
We've got a little bit of everything in here. We tried, Adam, like I said, Signs is the gentleman that's laying this out, and as time goes on, we're getting pieces of it. So it's a kind of work in progress. As you look over on this wall over here, if you get into it a little closer when you come to visit us, which we'd love to have, is you're going to find out different articles. For an example, we've got a newspaper here from when actually the things happened. The dates are up on it. July, that one there, July 20th, 1944.
Yeah.
He's researched and found it. A lot of different paraphernalia here. We've got in here the, supposedly, this is basically Hitler's
Yeah, briefcase.
briefcase. Thank you. Got a little desk here, field desk, that they use in the military, obviously.
Oh, yeah. You can see where they close it up and just carry it wherever
Yep.
they're going.
And we got this jacket here with a little bio, actually, who the gentleman was, this flight jacket. And that's the kind of what we've done in this room as you go through it. As around the wall here, we got a phone over here, which is used actually on a submarine. We found that, and he brought it in.
Wow,
We mounted it on
that's
the wall.
amazing.
Then you come over here, we've got a lot of little paraphernalia that was used in World War II. Some of it was used in World War I, obviously. And actually some of it was carried over into Korea. And we all know each war, they carry some of the supplies back over to it. There's a beautiful display of different items in there. This flag over here, this Weston, this is something that was we found it over here about 2 years ago, and we redid it. This gentleman here went up, and his ship was sinking, the Weston. He took the flag down and brought it and saved it. And it's a very, very honorable piece of equipment that we've got here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing history.
And then this gentleman here.
Look at this baby.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from, but it brings a lot of memories back for a lot of the military guys.
Yeah.
Especially in World War II. But this little area from here on, this gentleman was in Pearl Harbor the day it was hit. And it's his information here, his medals, all the information, a little diary of what happened. There's the ship. That's a picture of him when he was younger, obviously. And this is his sea bag. Mm-hmm. His family, after he passed away, go ahead and donated it to the museum.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, well, I had the privilege of interviewing a Pearl Harbor survivor too, and it's amazing. It's an amazing story. They just 80 years. 80 years. Just last December 7th.
Time flies by fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Then we've got a canteen over here. We're not for sure, but everybody that's in the military, it's not a military style. It has to be, we're thinking maybe off of a Japanese plane. They found it, the diver found it down at Pearl Harbor, and for whatever reason he kept it, we ended up with it. But you can see it's a different style than we use. We figured
It doesn't look like something we had. Yeah.
We're going to do some like World War II museum, try to do interviews with people and put them on also. As we know, we're losing everybody faster than we want to.
Yeah. We're now in what you call the World War, what is this? World War, Korea.
Korea. Off to your right here is a Korea, yeah.
Oh yeah, they go, there's a MASH unit or something there, right? Not really,
Well,
that's a village.
Actually, that's a POW camp. There's a little bio here on Mr. Roberts. He was in the camp here for 33 months. And we found that he had given it to the park many, many years ago, obviously, but we found it in storage. And we hooked up with what they call the Railroad Association here in Ocala. Mm-hmm. And they redo a lot of things. And they took this over and redid it. They completely did it, as you're going to see a picture of it a little closer up. It's amazing the delicacy of work that they put into it. And here's a little bio on it, but he spent 33 months in this camp and designed it from memory and built it and give it to us. Then this wall over here, as you can see, it's the different pictures. We have some volunteers here that were in Korea, and thank God they're still with us. Mm-hmm. But they're up in the years, as we well know. And I can't remember which is which, but they could tell us if they were here today. One of them is a brother-in-law that was killed in Korea. The other one's also a uncle that was killed, one of the volunteers. His remains are still missing, and she's very heavily involved with the Korean Foundation trying to get back and find the remains to bring them home. But it's just, again, this is a radio, World War II and Korea, obviously. They carried that stuff over. They found it actually does work. Got to crank it. It does. It's amazing what it'll do. And that's the kind of things that we get the volunteer will find, or people will want to give it to us once they see this museum.
So you have like a group, of
there
people.
are 17 of us that are
17?
involved in this.
Well, you do amazing work
for
for all the stuff you have here. It's amazing.
Well, we got the next room is the Vietnam room.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah, there's a cage, bamboo cage.
Yeah, this is volunteers. There's two of them, Paul and Rudy. They are the ones that built this for us. We decided we wanted to do it for our 9/11 program last year. So they went on YouTube, obviously, which was beautiful to work with, and it got the exact measurements. It's smaller than it should have been. Usually they're 4x4x4. This one we made it 32 inches, only so we could get it in and out for displays at different shows. In addition, we got window covers that we've had done here. The gentleman over here, Tom Curtis, he just passed away with Agent Orange, but we kind of made this little room for him. He was a gunner on a Huey, and that was one that was donated to him years ago. He actually gave it to us. So this room area right here is from him. As you can see, this gentleman here, that's a flight suit that was used in Vietnam. Mr. Palmer, he was in Korea and also in Vietnam flying, and that's why we got this uniform. He donated that to us. And of course the U-boat that we have.
Oh yeah.
And then we tried to, this room is, like I said, it's hard to get some of the Vietnam guys to donate stuff. There's a lot of bad memories there, but we are getting some of them to come around finally. It's like anything, like Jason said earlier, this is more of a healing park than anything. That's why I came here. It finally made me feel at home, only because of what? Fellow brothers, the camaraderie.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate to that. So, this is the 9/11 room, right?
Yes, this is what we.
Tell me about these jerseys. Let's never forget.
There's a gentleman here that I hooked up with. He's with MIT here in Ocala. He had got these. Him and his wife got married in Alaska when he was in the Army, if I can remember the story correctly. But anyway, he always wanted this. So he had his wife wear the 9. He wore the 11. So wherever they walk, it's 9/11. He was involved to a point with it after it happened. He was a fireman.
Yeah.
And some of the other material here that he had. There's a T-shirt over here that he also, after 9/11 happened, for some reason, the fire department started to send it around to different fire companies in the United States. And it's traveled, you can see the badges, they signed it. The unique one on the back, Guantanamo Bay.
Cuba. Yeah.
And it's amazing how it traveled around. And he actually got it. I don't know exactly how he got it, but he actually donated this to the exhibit center it's on loan, I should say. In addition to a lot of things in this display cabinet is a lot of his memorabilia that he's had over the years. He leaves it here for us for display instead of at his house.
You know, we're doing this show here now. After this, we're going down the road to a church, and Pastor Gary Cato is there.
Okay.
And he was there at 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
And he wrote a book, 10 Days of Hell and Heroes.
Jeez.
And he is on our YouTube. You have to watch that, and you learn so much about 9/11.
I mean, the thing that amazes me is we got hooked up with the first responders, and very, very proud because a tremendous amount of first responders are military. And the thing that was amazing to me is the stories. And we have a time where we had a storytelling. And we have one lady here in town, and she was actually, Mrs. Keen's her name. She was on the phone talking to her husband when the second tower went down.
Yeah.
And she lost him, obviously. She still speaks to this day for us. I mean, it's a heck of a lady that could be able to talk about losing her husband, and she never remarried. Her daughter was like 3 or 4 months old at the time. She's like 21 now. Of course, last year, we hate to say, but it was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, so it was a special program we put on it.
Right, yeah. Well, that's great because we can never forget. All right, this room, what is it you call this section here?
This is room we're going to try to name it is the War on Terrorism after 9/11. And what we've done here is they're in the process of really trying to collect a lot of memorabilia. It's a little harder, a lot of memories that a lot of guys don't want to talk about, but they are starting to come around.
Let me ask you a question. If you got somebody that wants to donate, you got a phone number, or how are they going to get a hold of you?
Actually, I'll give you the web page. I'll give you a card and show you. We got a website, and we also got a Facebook. But the best way to get a hold of us is my phone number if you want to. It's 352-804-5355.
And people can donate or they can put it on loan.
Absolutely. Whichever their choice is, we have a form they fill out. They'll have a copy, and we keep a copy so everybody knows what's going on down the road.
Okay. Now, all these gentlemen.
These are, I can't remember the name of the hotel, the airport, just recently when they pulled everybody out of Afghanistan. But these 13 pictures are the 13 that was killed over there, military. And we put this together for our 9/11 this year program. And that's why we haven't really decided how we're going to put them in display here. But we put them out on our event up in the pavilion, and that worked out beautiful because we wanted to honor them as well as everybody else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got a couple uniforms here, Army.
Yes. And this is the thing. It's kind of hard to get as bare as this is, but we're working on it. It will get to be very, very beautiful because we're going to bring the school kids in, and we have tours, and the volunteers are going to actually do the tours and show the kids what's actually happening in this world today. Believe it or not, it's very scary, but most of the kids, they don't talk about in school anymore. A lot of the history they don't want to talk, Holocaust, etc. So it's history if you want to bury it.
Well, it's not that they want to bury it. They're going reading, writing, and, learn how to use a computer. History, even when I was at school, you were at school, we didn't hear too much about World War II or Korea or anything like that. Once in a while you did, but it wasn't...
Well, it's a time and a place to do any of the education.
Yeah, yeah.
And certain ages is not...
And I encourage people, young people, to take your child, your kids, whatever, and visit museums. Yeah. I mean, I visited museums all over the country, and I love it. That's, and You come here, you could get a great day, and it costs you nothing.
Absolutely. And as you're going to see outside, we got almost a 6-acre park where they have picnic table they can set at. But the main thing is it's family. It's 24/7. They can come here at nights. Very quiet, peaceful. It's all lit up at night. And that's the future we want to do with the monuments. And I'll show you some pictures of the monuments that we're looking to put in.
Okay, I
as
think
time goes on.
we're about done inside the building. We got the one section we came into, all those uniforms.
Right.
We want to just take a quick look at those. And then we want to go outside and take a little panoramic type thing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We'll be honored to do that for you.
Okay, let's go. Now this is, what did you say this was?
This is our heroes wall. It was actually the gentleman, and I can't think of his name offhand. I'm sorry. I wish I could remember it. But he lost his son in Afghanistan. And he wanted to do something, so he had a bunch of information that he had, let alone a picture of his son and everything. And we put some of it up here. We didn't want to just zero in on just one person, because there is more than one hero, obviously. But we also have what we call a quarterly memorial every 3 or 4 months up here. We need to read off the names of everybody that passed away. So every time we do that, we have these little tags made up of the name of the person that passed away, what branch they were in, and the date of their decease. And the families can come get these, and we give them to them. And each quarter we put up the new amount. So there's usually about 100, 140 that pass away every 3 months to 4 months. And we just get them out of the paper. We're missing a lot of people. So if anybody wants to send a name in to us, we'd love to put the name on there. All we need to know is just if they were in the military.
Yeah.
And this was
I know
donated, by the way.
I know a couple. I'm looking for their names, but I don't see them. But
Well, this is
I'll
just
talk
the
to you
last
about,
quarter.
Oh, the last quarter. Okay, yeah, because otherwise there'd be tons of them, right?
Well, yeah, we do it
Unfortunately,
every, it was like 400 or 500 a
okay.
year that we could read off.
All right, let's take a little quick walk in here. Ready?
This room here is kind of like the entryway when you come in. We got this idea basically from anybody that has been down to the villages. They have what they call the Eisenhower.
We have, yeah, we've done a show there too.
And it's beautiful, so we got this idea from there. We still haven't figured out exactly how we want to put a mural on the back of it. We're thinking about a waving flag or whatever. But this Marion County school system, the art department would love to do help in here doing these kind of murals and stuff. So in the next few months, I'm sure we'll have something in there to cover that. But we put in front of each uniform, we actually put the date that they were born. And it's kind of interesting when you go through here. For an example, the Army, Marine Corps, and the Navy, within 3 months, they were all, I call it their birth dates. Mm-hmm. And they got the stuff from here too, obviously. And the Space Center is another one we're going to have to get. We haven't got any uniforms, obviously. We can get a flag basically right now. So that, as we all know, is a work in progress.
Jason, you're a Connecticut boy.
I am.
Have you ever been to Oxford, Connecticut?
Yes.
Do you know the American Legion Post in Oxford, Connecticut?
I haven't been to the American Legion Post.
It's named David S. Miles. He died on the Dorchester. So there's your Connecticut connection right there. One of them, anyway.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's why I come here. You can't get out of it.
It's quite the story for people who don't know about the 4 chaplains. They gave up their life jackets as the ship was sinking, and they held service, held hands, and prayed as the ship went down. And one of the guys lost on there was David S. Miles, and that's our post. My post.
Up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a trip.
Yeah. Okay, brother. We're going to go outside and take a look at what's out there. So let's go. Well, it's up to her.
We have these legs that kind of thick.
On the road again.
Just can't wait to get on the road again.
What we're going to do now is we're going to take a kind of a tour of the park. It's on like 5.6 acres, almost 6 acres. And it's a beautiful layout. Tommy Needham is a gentleman that had a vision to put this park together back in 1997. And with that vision in mind, I will take you around and show you from the beginning how it's laid out. And when you come here, it's a beautiful park to walk. A lot of people come during the day and walk all the time, and even in the evenings. This area to your right here, I'm going to turn it a little bit so you can get a better shot of it. This is what we call our hallow ground. We just redid this, the foundation did. There used to be a fire station here, and it was kind of rough. They had a lot of parking lots in here and everything. So we got with the city, and we took out all the impervious pavement and put it back to grass. And this is where we put up the 9/11 towers that came in this last time. The Vietnam Wall comes in here. This is our, like I said, our hollow ground. We do not put anything out here except for those events. The nice part about it, all the material that was donated, the contractors that came in and took out the milling of the blacktop, brought in 29 loads of dirt to level this out. At the same time, they also took and resawed it and put in an irrigation system. Again, at no charge, all donated by these companies.
That's great.
We have a project with the Boy Scouts that came back that we're very proud of. All the mulch in here, we're starting to take it out, and we're going to put in more like a Mongo grass. It's the low maintenance. That's the biggest problem we have with maintenance here. As you can see on the wall over here now, the different battles and a timeline, but they don't have any history of why we were there. And that's another project the foundation is going to do. And off to the left here, we got benches that people have donated. That's how they raise money through the years to build a lot of the projects in the park. They're all throughout the park. Benches you can come and sit. A lot of shade also for people to come and sit. And then next to this here where the grass is, or where the dirt is right now, that's going to become Mongo grass to fill it in, so we don't have to worry about it. These are all the pedestals throughout the park. There's like 7,000 bricks, a little over right now. And as you can see, the reefs are on them right now because today is, we're laying out the reefs for America, across America. We do it up here at the park for all the veterans that have passed away. You do not have to pass away to get a brick here. If you're just a veteran and a DD-214, and you can get a brick and donate it here for the park. The red bricks are $50 and the granites are $100.
And that money helps to sustain the park, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And after this, we're going to Highland Memorial to do the putting the wreaths out.
And off to your left here, the pavilion is very proud. That's where all of our events are, and that's where we have what we call the 9/11 and also Veterans Day. And Marion County School District puts on a Veterans Day program for us, and there's usually about 12 to 1,500 kids that come and put it on. We're very strong with the junior ROTC in this Marion County. There's 7 different high schools that have ROTC programs, and they come put the program on for us. It's an awesome program. We had a company called Conrad Tree Service that came in. Their family, all our military people, they're from their grandpa down to their grandsons, all in the Army. And they came out here and they do all of our tree trimming every year, or actually every 2 years they come in. And they take about 4 or 5 days to come out here and they clean everything out and raise the umbrella to make it look more presentable. But one thing they did I'm very proud of, if you look towards the straight ahead, you'll see the American flag. If you look at it, there's an arch they designed with the tree trimming. So you can actually, when we have our programs here, the podium sits here, but everybody's looking out, they can see the state flags and of course the Medal of Honor and the American flag. I guess this is a county park, but the veterans, we take care of it through the foundation as far as a lot of the maintenance. The county also has the park and recreation that does the mowing and tree trimming, or not tree trimming, but the hedge trimming and stuff for us. Another thing, last year the county went ahead, we put a whole new sound system in. Each one of these light poles, as you look around, they got a sound system on it. They spent a tune of around $80,000 to put in a beautiful sound system in here for when we have our events.
I see all these plaques have different battles and everything. You got Gold Star wives, you've got Gold Star families. You recognize everybody here. It's beautiful.
And then they laid out the park. They got this sidewalk that goes, it's like a circle. You walk all the way around. So where we started is the beginning with the timeline. As you can see the conflicts on the wall here. And then they filled it in with pedestals. And again, we can put them on this side as time goes on also.
The park always reminded me of like a fob, like a forward operating base. You got these walls that protect it from the outside world. I mean, it really is.
It's quite the park. Right?
I don't know, when I'm inside here, I feel like this whole place is like it's a world of its own. You got the city right outside. You can see other cars, but it's kind of got its own.
Here's one of the reasons that we really formed the foundation, because it's a beautiful park. It's got a great concept, and they started from basically nothing and designed what they've got here. But off to the left here is what they call the Korean War veterans, and that's all it is for representation of it. I got a picture I'll show you. I would love to have you put it on your YouTube of the new monument that we're going to put here. it absolutely is over the wall, over the top. It's just unbelievable. It explains everything. But we want to put it here. It's about 6 foot high, and it explains all the key battles in Korea, and it represents the Korean conflict a lot better because it is, as we all know, the Forgotten War. And straight ahead is our Medal of Honor, which is very, very proud of, obviously. I'm not sure on it. I'll have to research it. We're doing that. I think it's strictly all. I'm not going to say because I don't know. I just Medal of Honor. I thought maybe it was the state of Florida only, but I don't think so. I think it's basically all they have. Now, the gentleman here to your left, this is Mr. Hammett Bowen. There's a school in Ocala named after him, and this is he passed away in Vietnam. He threw himself on a grenade to save his troops, and he was a high school kid here that graduated and volunteered to go into the Vietnam War, and passed away. A lot of members here that are used to chief of police and everything used to know him, and it's interesting little history about Mr. Bowen. But they do have an elementary school named after him.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for the tour. It's a pleasure. You know, I'm really impressed, and I hope a lot of people come here and visit. And I know now why you feel so at home here, because I feel it too. And but it's time to say goodbye. I know there's a lot more we could see, but
Yes, there is.
we have time restriction. We have to go. So I want to thank you again for the tour, and pleasure meeting you, sir. But it's time to say goodbye, and this is how we do it. All our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
No one heals alone.
Thank you, Bob. I like that. Good
Thank you,
one.
Bob.